Long way, get this shit a long way, this shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, gotta get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, shit don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand, man. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way, but I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way and every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand, she don't understand, she just gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit, no, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name is Tori, I ain't playing games, just another Tori. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. I said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. You gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 yeah, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, the founder of SMD, LJ Young, and I am here to share my gift. And my gift is that I now know capitalism is psychological. All right. And this is a fact because math says so. And if math says it's true, that means it is true. And so how I discovered this fact was I got out of debt first. I got to actual zero. I had been living in the negative my entire life. So that means I was living on the negative side of our economy the whole time. The whole entire time until I got out of debt and got to zero. And I realized that was the first time ever in my life I was at zero. Ever. Then everything changed from that point. And long story short, I realized after I reached zero, that means I own myself. The whole time I was in a negative, that means I didn't own me. Then I realized the credit report is an owner's ledger. That's how they keep track of debt slaves. Who owns what business owns what debt slave? That's an owner's ledger. You don't know that when you're in debt because you're so focused on the credit score. Like, oh my God, never realizing what it takes to earn a credit score. Sell yourself. You have to sell yourself. That's what that means. Credit, when you understand the capitalism is psychological and you see the credit system for what it is, that's a business. Those are privately owned businesses. That is not a secret. You guys, all you got to do is look it up. Those are private businesses. That means they're selling something. They're selling you guys credit. That's what they're doing. Nothing's wrong with MasterCard. I don't care what interest rate they charge. It doesn't really matter because you guys think credit is money. That was me for a long time until I woke up. I found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, hey, take this calculator and your debt and get out of debt. Add it all up. Remember what they taught us in grade school? Zero, green on the right means positive numbers. Red on the left means negative numbers. You are deep in the negative, Linnell. You need to do these baby steps. Just take this calculator and these baby steps, use the calculator and get all the way to zero. And that's what I did. Hearing what he said, I didn't need any of his classes. To me, he was just saying, hey, just use math and get out. Okay, cool. That's what I did. But then when I got to the point to where Mr. Ramsey says, hey, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% start putting 15% into retirement. I was like, wait a minute, Dave. According to the calculator, I still have a mortgage, which means I'm in a deep, deep negative. I got a long ways to go. I'm nowhere near of putting any money anywhere because I'm in a negative with the mortgage. That is the point I left Mr. Ramsey. I was like, oh, okay, because anything after that is business. Because it's 100% mathematically impossible to put money into retirement while having a mortgage. That's 100% mathematically impossible. So I knew from that point on, it's about his business. So I just left. I don't care what he does. That's how business works. Because he's probably then going to transfer you to one of his financial pros, and then those people are going to tell you how you can do something that is mathematically impossible. They're going to sell it to you. That's because you don't know you cannot invest while having a mortgage. That's the psychological part in psychological capitalism. Now I'm fast forwarding years of videos making on YouTube. I'm fast forwarding all the way to psychological capitalism is psychological. Long story short, capitalism has two sides, negative side and the positive side. You get to choose which side you want to be on. If you don't trust the calculator, you're on the negative side. If you trust the calculator, you're on the positive side. That's how it is. When you're over here, you see the true purpose of taxes. You see why they're in place. Oh, it's the backbone of the whole system. Oh, okay, I get it now. But when you're on the negative side, you think taxes are big, bad, and evil. But when you come to the positive side, you're like, hey, taxes can help you build wealth. How? It's called phantom income. That's part of the psychological part of capitalism. You can't see it because you don't own yourself. If you don't own yourself, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you never will. That's by design too. You're probably saying to yourself, what do you mean if I don't own myself? If the phone you have in your hand is financed, you don't own yourself. Because if you have a financed phone in your hand, that means you got a financial problem. Only people in financial trouble finance phones. You should ask yourself, hey, I've been working all my life. How come I don't have the cash to buy the phone, the kind of phone I want? That's when the wheels start ticking in your brain and you start thinking, wait, something's wrong. Very wrong. You're on the negative side of the economy, period. Now, many of you guys say these things out loud. Debt slaves, you guys don't know it. You'll come around so-called financial people because they have certificates and degrees and all this other bullshit. It has nothing to do with hey, listen, this is all you got to do. If you want any kind of some type of accounting degree and blah, blah, blah degree from this prestigious college, all you got to do is go into their office. Okay. This is all you have to do. Go into their office. You'll see where they proudly display their college degrees. They love doing that in your face so you can just believe them that they're good with money. You look at the year that they graduated on their college degree, and then you turn to them and say, "Do you have student loan debt?" If they tell you yes, then you go 2022 minus the year they graduated. That's how long they've had student loan debt. Then you got to turn to them and say, "Explain that. You got this big financial successful business. How come your student loans are older than your business?" I'm here to tell you there is no answer for that. That's when you get up and you leave and never come back. Why? Because they don't own themselves. They're going to sell you financial advice from the negative side of the economy because that's all they know. You cannot invest while having student loan debt, but somebody will sell you something telling you that you can. That's your problem. If you believe you can invest while having student loan debt, that's your problem. Because the calculator clearly says you cannot do that. You're probably thinking, what is, LJ, what is your purpose? What are you trying to do? This is the most simplest way I can explain it to you because I can't really go any deeper than this, okay? All you have to do is log into your online credit report. I don't care how you get to it, whatever program you need to get to it, just get to it. There's going to be a large number in there calculating up all your debt. Okay? Take that number and put a negative in front of it. Okay? That number right there is your true net worth. That's how much you're worth. That's how much it costs for you to be free. You're going to be a slave until that number is paid back to wherever you got the money from, whatever businesses that you need to pay, until they get it back or file bankruptcy, chapter 7 or something. They own you until they get their money. That's the price for you to ever be free, to ever know what I'm talking about, and just simply come to the positive side of the economy. Because what I also know, economies cannot run without humans, people. So they need people on one side and they need people on the other, but all humans die. So there has to be people there that to replace those people to help them know, hey, follow the system. This is the real reason why you pay taxes. It doesn't really matter because you guys are everything, debt slaves. It's you. No currency exists for you at all, debt slaves, because it's you. You're probably asking yourself, what do you mean it's me? What do you mean? If you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, you're the mortgage. That's you. Because you believe you bought a house with no money. Hey, and listen, that's business. I don't really care why you did. I'm just telling you something. Okay. I don't want you guys thinking I want to change something. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. It's perfectly fine the way it is. I was just on the wrong side. I was on the negative side of it. That's why it looks so horrible. Now I'm on the positive side of it, it's like, oh, that's why you guys do this and that and this and that. Student loan debt, you see that 1.7 trillion something? That's you. That's you. You think they're going to release that many of their debt slaves? No, they're not. That's never going to happen. You guys better just stop it. I kept my student loans for 10 years. That wasn't the government's fault. That was my fault. That was not the government's. That was me. I made enough money I made enough money to clear my personal debt a long time ago. Especially my student loan debt. They always make it seem like, oh, that's the lowest debt, man. Now remember, this is all the people that sell you this information. They all use the same program. Hey, look, they always compare interest rates of a student loan to the interest rates from the bank. It's like you don't know to stop and say, hey, why are you comparing those two? One's the government and one's a privately owned entity. Why are you comparing interest rates? You guys don't know to ask those type of questions. Oh, it's so low, man. Of course it's low. The banks are never going to go as low as a student loan debt. Of course. They wouldn't make any money if they did that. You guys don't stop to ask yourself, how come you can't bankrupt student loan debt? That's weird. You think that's weird? No, that's how they buy you, debt slaves. That you're bought. You sold yourself for a student loan. That's what you did. Whatever your student loan debt is and climbing, that's how much they pay for you. When I signed out my student loan debt, they told me right there and said, hey, man, you take this money, you got to pay it back. I remember them saying that. It was in the paperwork. I know it was. I'm in grad school paying school straight from my pockets. Do you think they will be hire people with no student? Of course they will. Now you come across, like, when it's time for you to go get a loan. Oh, shoot. Okay. Hold on for a second here. Oh, never mind. Okay. When you go to get a loan and you're young, they're kind of expect you not to have a history of credit. Okay. They're going to probably think that, oh, she's young. She never really got into it, but they'll get you later. But when you walk into the bank with this mindset, right, letting them know that they'll see from your credit report that you have no owners, but when you go into the bank, you'll make sure it's clear that you know what that means, because that you can't. Nobody can lie about that. Debt slaves, they don't even know that. Listen, debt slaves do not even know that that's an owner's ledger. That's the psychological part. They don't know that. They don't know. Credit report says everything to people that know. Hey, look, other people that know. Look, here's my credit report. Nobody owns me. And my personal credit report will reflect that. All zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, all the way down. You notice how, like, here, let me give you another example. You notice how the news and the people in social media, they said, hey, they're going to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. Do you guys understand that that's to scare you? It doesn't scare me because I'm already following the rules. I follow the laws because I understand the purpose of taxes. But if you heard that number and got scared, that means you haven't been doing something with your taxes. You haven't been paying. You've been hiding. Who knows what you, but if you're scared, that's the reason why you're scared. That's the reason why you're scared. You're not following the rules. Believing it like the rest of the debt slaves that, hey, man, if I cheat on my taxes, I'll save more money or something. Whatever you're thinking in your brain, which is wrong, you're like, hey, wait, what you really need to do is stop when you think like that and say, hey, could I possibly go to prison for doing this? And you still do it. I want you to know what you just did. You traded the time in your life for money. That's what you did. You traded the time in your life for money. People that do PPP loans, it could easily get, without any knowledge, can get unbelievable amounts of money. Unbelievable amounts of money. You know, the only people that would do that? Debt slaves would do that. They clearly say, hey, if you do this is a federal crime. You could also possibly go to prison. Anything that involves of trading the time of my life for money, that's the wrong order. In my life, time is number one, money's number two, and it stays that way, period. Can you explain an example of how taxes build wealth? Okay, that's good question. Good question. I'm going to show you. Most people have what's called, for retirement, 401ks. Okay. So say like you had $5,000 to invest into a 401k. All right. The government says, the IRS says, hey, if you do this, you could take that same $5,000 off of your annual income. That's what they say, right? Which will then reduce you in your tax bracket, having you a lower tax obligation. Debt slaves have no money to invest in the 401k. Therefore, they can never, ever, ever lower their tax bracket. They must always stay where they're at while they're in debt, because there is no way for debt slaves to reduce themselves in their tax bracket because they have no money to do it. Therefore, when you're on the positive side of the economy, you do have actual $5,000 of your own to put into a 401k for retirement. Number one, you get to put away some money to retirement, and then at the same year, get to take off $5,000 off your annual income and hey, listen, go talk to you. I'm not a tax professional. Just tell your tax professional what I said. Okay? Make sure they understand that I am not a tax professional. Don't take any tax advice from me. You just take what I said to a tax professional, tell them what I said, and get their reaction from it. Okay? I know nothing about that. I don't know anything about that. What's up, Cosmic? But the 401k, you pay taxes on it at retirement, so it isn't a Roth IRA or Roth. Okay, you got to listen what I said. A person that is not in debt actually has $5,000 to put into a 401k. Any retirement in the world, any retirement plan in the world, but we're going to stick with a 401k for this purpose of taxes. Put $5,000 in a 401k to put away for retirement and get tax reduction at the end of the year. Debt slaves have no money to put anywhere in any retirement plan that does taxes before, after, in the middle, sort of court. That's all the program for you guys. That's to confuse you, to think, hey, is that one better than this one and this one? What about taxes after taxes? And what about, don't you pay taxes after? Hey, listen, it's designed to be that way. You don't have to follow all that stuff. That's for debt slaves. I keep telling you guys that. That has nothing to do with me. That's for you guys. You guys believe you can invest in things with no money of your own. That's your problem. That's called business. That doesn't fool me. I know all of that is mathematically impossible. None of that can happen if you just trust a calculator, but you don't. What are your thoughts on getting into credit card debt for medical bills? good for tax write-off too. What are your thoughts getting into credit card debt from? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about medical debt because you didn't have an insurance, or medical debt because you couldn't make the co-pays? You gotta add a little bit more than that to the question. You know when when you see you go to financial podcast channels, and you know how they put all those screens in the background so you guys can see all those numbers scrolling across the screen and all these graphs and different companies and flying. Do you know all that stuff is debt slaves? All of that is you, debt slaves. You're the lines, you're the squiggly lines. You guys are the numbers scrolling across the screen. That's you. You think I pay attention to any of that stuff on their screens? It doesn't mean anything. It only means something to you, not me. I pay attention to you guys. And I look at that stuff to see how you guys react to whatever they decide to do with you. And please understand this. If you ever hear somebody get really emotional about our financial system, that's a problem. Because the financial system is a thing. It's nothing. It's just there. It's because of someone and this and that. Those people are usually on the negative side of the financial system. That's why they're talking like that. Credit card debt. I don't know. When I hear people say things like, put it on as medical so you can get a tax right. Listen, if you're in debt, you cannot get any tax breaks. None, zero. You're in debt. The taxes are you. When you're in debt and you guys believe you're getting tax write-offs and this and that from loans, and you guys don't really understand that is you. They bought you with the mortgage, not the house. You. They use the house to buy you because you can't buy debt slaves directly. That's illegal. If you have $3,000 in student loans, is it more ideal to pay it off in a few installments or pay it off in one payment? All right. So I always try to rephrase the question a different way. Okay. So you guys can understand, because the chains I'm talking about are psychological chains, but you guys don't really understand that there's a psychological part to all of this, right? So imagine you had literal chains around your ankles. Literally. You couldn't go nowhere, anywhere, because these chains are out. But the only way to get these chains off, you had to pay $3,000. Now, would you pay $3,000 right then, or would you make installments to get it off? Would you say, okay, cool, I'll make installments? Well, they say, okay, they're not coming off until you paid all installments. Would you still do installments, or would you pay it in full right then? Now, the scenario that I've given you is 100% real, but it's psychological. You don't know that you just sold. The longer they have, they own you for $3,000. You sold yourself for $3,000 for whatever that is, whatever that thing is that you sold yourself for. You did that, and until they get their money back, they own you. They own you. You have to go to work. Why? Because you owe money. Debt slaves have to. You guys know you have to work. You got payments. You guys are so busy financing bigger houses than the other person. It's like, damn, you guys have no idea what you're even doing. You'll see somebody that has a bigger house than yours. You'll automatically think in your brain, oh, they must be making more money than they gotta. They got the only difference between your house and a person's house that you think is better than yours, their mortgage payment is probably bigger than yours. That is it. You guys still have mortgage payments. It doesn't matter where debt slaves live. You don't think debt slaves live in Malibu, California? You don't think that? It doesn't matter how big the house is. That's the bank's house until they get all their money back. Other than mortgages, how else do you become a debt slave? Any personal debt at all makes you a debt slave. Now, I do have a credit card. I have one credit card because I know I still have it saves me time. The only reason why I have one because it saves me time. The bank, listen, you guys, debt slaves, you guys have a pattern that you don't know. When the credit card company looks at my credit report, they're going to know that I'm not a debt slave. They're going to know right away because my credit report is all zeros and one page. And it's been like that for years now, years, debt slaves. You guys believe you can't survive without credit. When they run mine, they're going to say, okay, he clearly is not one of the regulars. You guys are so fixated on the credit score. Then you come across these, you guys come across these credit fixers, man. It's like shooting a fish in a barrel. All you got to take a step back is this. How many credit repair people are there? And how many credit repair businesses are there? That means they're making money off of people that don't know. Hey, just go in your credit report and just say you didn't do it and file that wasn't me or file a fraud or some shit so you guys don't to get out of paying. You know that no. Do you guys know you guys all do that? You guys all do that. And those people, those credit repair people, they sell it to you. I guarantee you this, the majority of the so-called credit repair people, their credit reports look like yours, if not worse. But because they know just a little bit more, and I mean very little, more than you guys debt slaves, they take advantage of you. Do you guys know some of you guys think that if you don't have a good credit score, you're nothing? Some people really believe there's something with a high credit score and deep in debt. They think there's something. This is how, like, for example, let me give you an example. This is how those other type of scammers, they come up here and join somebody with bad credit with good credit and put them on their credit report and say, hey, if you get on this person's credit report, it'll boost your credit score or whatever, trade lines, something, whatever it's called, right? They always make up some new name every year. The reason how they can marry those people, first, the person with the bad credit, they just want good credit so they can finance themselves in a hole somewhere. And then they find somebody with very, very good credit, but deep, deep, deep debt. And then they marry the two because they'll pay the person with the good credit. Hey, you can get some of this if you let this person do that, which is bananas because you got to give up all your personal information to do that. That is absolutely bonkers. That's how they can do that. You think I would put a debt slave anywhere near my financial information? Not even close. For no amount of money. None. Zero. Planning to move out of my parents' house and rent on my own. Is there a difference between getting a 1-year lease when paying versus month to month? Well, young villain, when you say you're moving out, are you completely debt free, moving out of your parents' house? Yes, credit card for saving, for time saving, for sure. Easy for big payment, handle payments once done. Yes, true, very true. And also I keep a credit card for protection, because they got scamming machines everywhere. I don't really want to be checking for all that all the time. I'm very conscious about where I use my credit card already, but anyway, if somebody happens to get it through the internet, I just call my credit card company and tell them it wasn't me, because you got to understand, debt slaves have a pattern, and so do, and people that understand money also do. They nothing, no company owns them. So if some fraud type shit happened, obviously I didn't do it, because they could see that over the past 5, 6, 7 years I've been with them, so they know. It's not even a question. It's like, oh yeah, obviously that's fraud, because he has never done anything like that, but or even claim to. Who knows how many times you guys call and say, "Hey, I didn't charge that." You guys all do that type of shit, but man, what are your thoughts on consumer debt proposal? The debt. Listen, I want to make sure everybody's clear on this. Debt slaves are everything. You guys are the debt. When they talk about proposals, I don't really pay attention to stuff like that, because I already know it's you. If I pay attention to it, I just see what they say, and it's obviously to make you guys do something. It's always, of course, that's what it is. It's like, okay, what is this about? Oh, we're going to do this, change that, because they want you guys to go a certain direction. Listen, it is what it is. I don't really, because I keep repeating this to people. I just discovered this. That means I didn't create it. Let me say that one more time. I just discovered this, which means I didn't create it. It was already here. This borderline of the whole United States of America, yeah, that was already in place when I was born. I have no idea how it got there. I don't. That was already there. It said, hey, as a kid, it pointed to the world and said, this is us. These are the lines, and this is the way it's shaped, or whatever, right? Okay, got it. Understood. Hey, we have taxes. You got to do your part in. If you have a job, we're going to take it from then. If you have a business, you got to give it to us, period. Or you go to prison. Okay, well, good enough. Done. Most debt slaves, you guys don't even stop to think of, like, damn, how can somebody get so much? They always try to put a label on it too. White collar and blue collar. You guys just fall for all that stuff. Anyway, they go, why does it get so much time? That's like for tax evasion when it's just the same amount of years for killing somebody. You're like, damn, that's unfair. You need to take a step back and ask yourself, hey, why is that? You didn't hurt nobody. You guys start making up things. Hey, it was just the bank's money anyway. No, that's not the point. That's not the point. It's there for a reason. All you got to do is get to the positive side of it, and you'll clearly see the reason. Oh, shit, that's why. Okay, it's the backbone. Got it. Then I said to myself, hey, wait a minute. If it's the backbone here, what about other capitalist countries? You're right on the money. It's all the same, exactly the same. They got their own flavor of it, but the basis is there. The majority are debt slaves and they don't know it. That's it. Then there's a new set of rules. You're like, oh, okay, I'll do this, that, pass it there, don't do this. Okay, whatever. Because when you put it this way, when you understand capitalism is psychological and then you come into business, you'll understand that you don't pay taxes, you pass taxes, you pass them. You collect them from the debt slaves and you pass it to the IRS. That's all you're doing. You don't get to keep your money and their money. You clearly understand that. That's crystal clear. Oh, I'm just passing them. Yeah, that's it. You're just passing them. Like when I do my taxes, guess what? All my numbers match, all of them. I'm on time with my monthly sales tax due dates, whatever. I'm on time with that. Moving out after becoming debt free. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure, check on that. Planning to move out of my parents' house and rent on my own. Is there a difference between getting a 1 year lease when paying rent versus month to month? Well, first of all, young villain, you got to make sure you understand where you're at. First of all, you are different than millions and millions of people who are in debt and don't know it. You are debt free. Okay. Your job is to make sure it stays that way for the rest of your life. Guaranteed millionaire if you just do that one move alone. Just stay debt free. Now, I'm gonna say it this way: you're young. I wouldn't leave if you really want a house that bad. Okay, I wouldn't leave until I saved up at least 30% to put down on the house. Because your goal is this, and this is the only your age is the only reason why I'm even talking to you about a mortgage. Okay, you save at least, you pick out a house you think you can afford, you save up 30% of the down payment for that house. Okay, I guarantee you, when you walk in the bank at your age with a good job, no debt, and 30,000 and 30% cash, they're going to know somebody's been talking to you, because that doesn't happen. That's not a normal thing that happens. You can only do that because they're going to run your credit. They're going to see instantly that you have no owners. That's why you have money. The bank is going to make that connection, and then they're going to know that somebody's been talking to you. You have no owners on your credit report. You keep it that way. But I wouldn't, if everything's good with my parents, I would be chilling. And now, if your plan is just one, you want to get out and you're not looking for a house right now, because you don't have to buy a house, right? But if you do, put it this way, if you decide you want to get a house now, you save up at least 30%, get the best mortgage in the state where you live, and have that house paid off in 5 to 7 years. And the reason why I say that, if you have a paid off house now while you're in your 20s and your 30s, you have no mortgage or rent for the rest of your life, ever. You'll never have it again. It's done. While millions of people believe rent and or mortgage, they're making the comparison. Hey, which one? Stop throwing away money on rent. Why they argue about which is the same. Mortgage is rent. It's no different. It's the same. They don't own nothing. While they're sitting around there arguing which one is better, what neither one is, you're going to have a lovely, lovely, stress-free life. You'll be on the positive side of the economy, and then you'll see why all the laws and stuff are in place. You know why? Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't work. Once you understand this, you'll clearly understand that debt slaves are the currency. It's them. No currency exists for debt slaves at all. None, zero, nothing, because it's them. FTX crash, blah, blah, blah. That's all debt slave shit. That's all that debt slave stuff. One to get rich fast. The government won't find out, and all this stupid nonsense. Only you guys believe that. Only you. And all your friends, if all your friends do it, that's why you guys are friends. Once you're debt free, how do you reduce taxes, or should you not worry about it? No, I say like this. I always say like this, okay? And please talk to your tax professional, okay? This is just a non-mathematically correct advice, but non-tax accountant professional. Just 100% mathematically correct, okay? That's it. What I'm about to tell you is just 100% mathematically correct. If you put $5,000 into your 401k, they say you can add that to your retirement, and you can take that same $5,000 off of your annual income, which would reduce you in your tax bracket. That is something that debt slaves can't do. So say like it so happened to reduce you, let's say $1,000. Okay, let's just keep it simple. Say like by doing this investment into the 401k, your tax obligation got reduced $1,000. $1,000 that you don't have to pay in taxes because of the move that you just did. Debt slaves do not have $5,000 to put into a 401k to reduce their tax bracket. They cannot do it. That's what I mean. When you have real money, only people that buy things with real money get the tax breaks. The people that tell you they are, all you got to do is type it into a calculator. You clearly see that they're not getting any tax breaks at all. None, zero. Do you do your own taxes, or do you have a tax? I have a tax person do my, and this tax person is personally debt free. I need to reiterate this to you guys of very extreme importance. My tax person is personally debt free. That means he understands how taxes really work. If you have a tax professional right now that you're paying money to and they're in personal debt, you got the wrong tax professional. If you got a tax professional that has student loan debt older than their tax business, you got the wrong tax professional. Wrong. This goes for accountants too. Sure do. Hey, your accountant better not have no personal debt. Better not. Is this accounting for your business? Oh yeah, you got the wrong one. Wrong. And if you're a young person in college going for accounting and or tax lawyer, tax business, here, let me tell you something. You want to accelerate past all your peers? Stay personally debt free. One day you'll clearly see that capitalism is psychological and you will dominate, and your peers will have no clue how you're doing it. Won't even understand. Doesn't matter. Do you know if you created like a tax law professional and all you hired was lawyers that were personally debt free, that understood that capitalism is psychological, do you know your firm would dominate in any city you went to? Dominate. If you got a professional tax professional or accountant professional telling you they're investing, and then you find out they have student loan debt and they're telling you about they invest, that's a problem. Because according to the laws of mathematics, if you're in personal debt, you cannot invest in anything. How do you ask them to see their credit report? You say just like this: "Can I see your personal credit report?" See, that's like when if I'm going to see a professional, we're talking business. This has nothing to do with people's feelings. I wouldn't care how a person, especially if I'm going to this person to consider them on handling my business finances, they better not get offended. If they get offended, they obviously don't know. I'm about to do business with you. If I ask to see a personal credit report, I need you to show me, because I need to know if you own the business of yourself. I'm not going to let any professional, anybody that do with money, if they don't own the business of themselves, they have no idea what they're talking about. None, zero. They don't even own themselves. Right. And I know that seems, It sounds like Nick is probably being rude, right? But no, that's how you'll be. What things do you need to have in place when starting a business? LLC, business insurance? Uh, I don't really have too much information on that. That you're gonna have to see a professional with that. My business is to help the people, the business of yourself. That's the only thing I do with. Any kind of stuff with that has to do with that kind of stuff, I just go hire a professional. I say, hey, make sure you do it right. That's the, like, when you're crossing over from being a regular W-2 worker and you're crossing over to becoming a business owner, I strongly suggest you go hire a professional business tax person who is personally debt free. Somebody that knows how it works and put the boxes and check and write in the right information. The IRS will know that you did that. Because I can only imagine the tax forms of people that come from being a W-2 worker where they automatically take out your taxes to trying to do business taxes yourself. I'm pretty sure the IRS can clearly see when a person that doesn't know what this is clearly did it themselves. I'm sure it's like, you know, a kid, say like you got a family of kids and it's just you and a 5 or 6 years old, and somebody scribbled over some important papers and stuff. You wouldn't say, hey, who scribbled on this paper? Would you go to your wife or would you go straight to the kid? Because you can just look at it, right? And say, oh, clearly a kid did that, right? That's the same thing, I'm sure. I'm not, now, quote, I'm not an IRS agent. I'm just saying that seems pretty obvious to me. They have access to your personal information. You can ask them for whatever you want. Sure can. Now, if you happen to find a needle in the haystack, which I did, so I know it's possible. I did, because this is a different language. And here at the S&B family, we call it alienese. We call it alienese because once you understand capitalism is psychological, you're going to be you're going to be alienated from the debt slaves, which makes you an alien. They alienated you, transformed you, because they're not going to understand what you're saying anymore. What do you mean the only way to buy a house is in cash? What's that mean? And then they'll start thinking you're crazy. If you were 24 and paid off all your debt, now debt free with 10,000 liquid cash, what would you invest in? I would be, honestly, before I even talking about investing, I would say to myself, because when you're 24, you don't realize, with no debt, you don't realize you're free to think of anything you want. Now, if you can take the favorite thing you do right now that you would love, that it wouldn't feel like work, I would invest in that. That's what I would do. I would pick what, because I believe, this is what I believe. I believe everybody has a favorite thing that they could probably do all day, and never, not 1 minute of the time they are there, it would feel like work. You take that thing and you make that into a business. And if you do that, you'll never work again for the rest of your life, because that's what you'll be doing. Like, I'm on the mic right now. I have found my gift. My gift is the ability to see that capitalism is psychological. I will do this until I'm dead. This doesn't feel like work to me at all. None. Zero. That's called passion. That's why when you come to this channel, you're thinking to yourself, hey, what is he selling? He's not, because you guys are so used to the program, somebody's got to be selling something. And then you come to my channel and you're like, wait, everything's free? He's talking about shit nobody else is talking about? No, nobody. Now, if you come see me, of course, it costs money, of course, because once you own yourself, you'll know the value of time. You will know it. And you won't let anybody waste it. I promise you, nobody. It's rare, but you can spot S&B family through conversation, listen for slave splaining or alienese. Yes. Now, people that know, they probably never heard of alienese, capitalism, no, I'm not going to say psychological capitalism for sure. That was created, but alienese. When you don't, here, let me give an example, because I know people that are debt slaves. They're like, what is that? If you think financing a phone is normal and you talk to your friends about it, you don't speak alienese. We can hear you telling all your friends that you think it's normal to finance the latest phone. You think that's normal. You think you got a deal. You got $500 off. You guys didn't get nothing off of nothing. The phone company just owns you for the next 2 years that you signed up for that phone. That's all that is. They just use the phone to own you. Remember, it's illegal to directly own another human being. That's called physical slavery. You can't do that. What's another way to do it? Put a thing and make the whole thing psychological and put a house in front of it. Put a car in the middle between you and the deal. Put some tires, put a washer and dryer, put a new refrigerator with a TV screen in it. That's how they own you. Nothing's wrong with it. That's called business. I don't care what they do. That's how it's supposed to be. Exactly. Put that shirt on then. Excellent advice on selecting your gift. Thank you, sir. And the S&B family, no, I'm excited to see what they're getting. When they find theirs, man, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for them. The only way, listen, that's like only way you can see the psychological is mathematically. That's the only way you can see it. There is, because the psychological is not a physical thing. You can't say, hey, there it is, it's round, it's red, but it's there. And the only way you can see it is through math. That's how I see you guys. That's how I know that's how I know you guys are the currency. Because math tells me that is you. And since math is never wrong, that means I'm not wrong. You guys get it? In a capitalist society, you need to have capital. Time over money. Sure is. You are welcome, young villain. Capital starts with savings. Sure does. I'm so what's up, Robert? Notice all the advice into invest and not save. Exactly. Always invest. What about your future? You know why I laugh? Because they got me. Hey, man, and I consider myself a pretty smart dude. Okay? I really do. Hold on for a second. I consider myself a pretty smart dude, man. I was an engineer, VMware, but I didn't see what it's just, and this is why I respect it. Okay, do you guys know how long it must have taken to get debt slaves to believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house? Now 40. You know how long that takes? That alone, with trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt, that alone commands respect. When debt slaves talk about equity, they don't know that they're talking about negative equity. Equity is positive and negative. When debt slaves speak of, hey, I got this much equity in my mortgage house, they're talking about negative equity. I got this guy on my personal Facebook. He is now, mind you, I just save my stuff on my personal Facebook sometimes, and somebody always got to come from somewhere and say something. I don't go to their page. I don't care. Go over there and say, "Hey, none of this is true. That's not your house. You got a mortgage. You can't. You got debt up to your eyeball." I don't say none of that. I just let them live the fantasy that they want to live. But then when they come over here to my page, it's like, "Oh, that's not true. You can be your own bank. You can do this. Grab this." It's always, listen. It's always something that you got to buy that's going to make you rich. It's just it is so bananas to even look at. It's like, oh man, yeah. So if I get that policy, I can then borrow against it and get. Is that policy free? Of course, it's not free. You always have to buy something else that's going to make you money instead of yourself. It's just, oh my God, it's just so, but it's business. And I'm saying, oh my God, because that was me. That was me. If I could buy my car, listen, if I could buy my cars in cash, I wouldn't have to buy an extended warranty. They already know that you don't have the money to buy the car. You're definitely not going to have the money to fix it either. So they sell something. It's just, hey, listen, it's just business. Okay, I get it. It's business. But all you got to do is open up the calculator. That's it. The reason why you don't have the money to fix the car you're making payments on is because you're making payments on the car. That's why you can't afford to fix it, because you didn't have the money to buy it. When personally debt free does paying bills and like food, that you don't even think about it. When I pull up to the gas pump, I don't look at it. I just put it in and wait for the click. Now, I might look at the balance as I rip my ticket or stub or clear it or whatever, but when you're not making payments on the car and you're not in debt, gas prices are not, they irritate, but they don't really, it's not going to prevent me from anything. Okay, it's not. To me, when I see gas prices go up, I say to myself, all right, maybe they want you guys to finance more electric cars because you guys have no money to buy anything. So if you're a person that went and financed an electric car because of high gas prices, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. Because when you finance a vehicle, it doesn't matter how it's powered. It's powered by you, debt slave. It doesn't matter if it's gas or electric. It goes nowhere without you in it. When you are, what do you think are the top 5 best states to live in? When you are debt free and you understand that capitalism is psychological, the best place to live in the United States of America is your choice. Wherever you choose, it's you. You make that choice. Because I have no idea, even if you look that up, I don't know where that information did. Most likely it came from debt slaves. All debt slaves want to be somewhere else other than what they are. They hate their jobs. They don't like where they live. Their landlord sucks. And if you put out that survey and they say, hey, I'd rather live this and there, that survey is flawed. It would be flawed. It would be flawed. When you're debt free, you live where you want to live. Any neighborhood you wish. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Put it this way, I guarantee you guys believe so much that you cannot buy a house in cash. You guys believe that so much. I guarantee you the people that do buy houses in cash, they pretend in front of you that they got a mortgage. I bet you they do. They're, oh yeah, my mortgage is around, well, how much is yours? 17. Oh yeah, girl, that's mine too. Yeah, mine's around 17. Because you guys immediately think if somebody has a paid off house, they're rich. They got to be rich. Only a rich person can buy 300,000-400,000. Who said that? Who? Now, if this is you and you're saying things like that, I'm here to tell you something. Each and every one of us has our own perspective of the world, of the finances, of how the system works. Each person has their own version of it, perspective of it. Mine is my perspective of it is mathematically correct. Nothing trumps math. Nothing. So when you hear a person talking about anything about money and what you should do, remember, they're only telling you from their perspective. That's their perspective. And if they talk about owning things with mortgages and loans, they're coming from the negative perspective. They're suggesting that you should go deep in debt and then somehow make a profit. Say it like this. Say like you know how the majority of people say, hey, if you're renting, you're throwing away money on rent, and they act as if you ain't got no money because you rent. Say like you and a person had the exact same apartment side by side with each other. You guys are both debt free, and your rent is a $2,000 a month. But your friend decides to believe what other debt slaves tell them, become a homeowner with a mortgage. So they go, now you guys are at zero because you're at no debt. Then all of a sudden they go get a mortgage, a $300,000-$400,000 mortgage, paying and say like their mortgage is $1,500 a month, right? But what they're not telling you is that they're $400,000 in the negative. Then they come to you and say, look, I'm making smaller monthly payments than you, and I'm owning my own house, and you're just throwing away. I'm $500 less than you. That's what they believe. When they only thing this person would have to do is go $1,500 minus your mortgage balance will tell you where they're at. They're deep in the hole, far deep. They believe that they're $500 less than that. That's a program, people. That's for debt slaves that believe that. Do you think the FRX situation, to my FTX situation, affected crypto in a negative way forever? No. Debt slaves will always believe that they're going to get rich quick. Debt slaves don't want to put in the excuse me. Debt slaves don't want to put in the hard work to do what it takes to get out of debt. So they want a quick fix. Cryptocurrency is like the wild, wild west. Cryptocurrency is you guys. It's you. You guys, debt slaves believe digital currency is new. Like it's no, credit's been here for decades. The majority of you could not survive without credit. That's digital. That's not money. Those are digital numbers. You guys been digital. You just don't know it yet. You guys get together. Oh yeah, the government IRS won't be able to track it if we did. Hey, listen. If you hear somebody saying that, you turn to them and say, "Do you got student loan debt? Are you making car payments? Oh, that's why you're saying that. Okay, I get it. Totally get it. Man, they're taking so many taxes out of my check. Don't you got 2 car payments and a brand new house that you bought? So it's not your fault at all. They're taking like 30% of my check. That means that leaves you with 70. That means you get most of the money. I know people are taking more debt, refinancing houses, adding debt to the mortgage. Sure is, because it's sold to them as it's theirs. Every single debt slave with a mortgage, they believe they're homeowners. And that's how it must be and will always be that way. It doesn't matter if I say it now or say it later, because here's the difference between this channel and any other channel on the internet. The content I create will never be out of date. The content I create will never be out of date. How can I say that? Because there will always be debt slaves. Always. Always. You guys don't know words that are used in financial statements are positive and negative, just like money. It's positive and negative. So if you're talking to if somebody's talking to you about, this is all you got to do. You don't have to be brilliant in money. I'm giving you the jewels, okay? I'm giving you the gems. If you hear somebody talking about equity in their house, you turn to them and say, do you have a mortgage? If they say yes, they're talking about negative equity. Okay? Negative equity. It's only like if a person owns a house, you don't really use the word equity. You just say the value of my house. Equity, if I was getting a loan for it, that's a bank word. Okay? That's when you're involved in the bank. But if you own your house, the bank is not involved. So you don't use a word like equity. Because if you don't plan on selling anytime, why would you use that word? You might look up the value of your house. Because when you look up the value of homes, if you have a mortgage, that value that you see, that you look up, that's not the value for you. That is the value for the bank, not you. Exactly. Mortgage greater than rent. Oh my God. Slave splaining. Only people that understand alienese can hear slave splaining. You guys can't hear it. It's like this. Say like for example, I remember I went to Australia. Me and my friends went to Australia. And we ran into some all wonderful people, really. I just really enjoyed that trip. And we went to Australia. Some people were laughing at our accent. Okay. Now, of course, we can't hear it. We can't hear what they hear because they sound, we could clearly hear their accent, but we can't hear our own. So we don't really know what we sound like to them. That's the same thing if you've been in debt all your life. You don't know the things you say, like having a mortgage and you telling your friends that you're investing in your retirement plan while having a mortgage. That's called slave splaining because you can't do that. You cannot invest into retirement while having a mortgage. That's impossible. You can't do that. People that speak alienese understand that. Debt slaves, exactly. Debt slaves work at the bank. Now, at this level, what I speak, the average person that walks into the bank will have no idea what I'm talking about. They won't. If I walked in the bank and say, hey, yeah, I'm here to get a loan, business loan. By the way, I understand capitalism is psychological. The person at the bank is not going to really understand what I'm saying. They're not. Say it like this. Next time you walk into a bank and you get some help from, not really the teller, somebody that really works at the bank, you got to go sit at their desk and they're going to do some financial stuff with them. You say, are you making car payments or student loan payments or something like that? Just something like that, making payments. If they say yes to any of those questions, that means they don't know that capitalism is psychological. So they're just another person that works at the bank. They're debt slaves that are just like you, but they work at the bank. That's it. Value insinuates you own it. Yes. Equity is a bank term associated with mortgages for sure. That is crystal clear. Once you understand capitalism is psychological, I was like, wait a minute, that's a word the bank made up. Sure is. Wow. That's why they call you guys when housing prices rise. That's why they call you to tell you about your equity. Hey, your equity went up in the house. The house went up to this, and you guys just like bait on the hook because. And listen, all your records are kept with the bank, so they know if you're in financial trouble, and so they automatically know who to direct that type of information to. If you're deep in debt, you're late on payments, credit cards that you got, they already know that information. So if they throw it at you, hey, look, you can refi and pay off all those credit cards. You can pay off your car. Basically, borrow some more money to give it right back to them because they own the cars and the credit cards until you pay them off. So you take that money and then you give it right back to them digitally. Listen, no physical cash exchanged at all. When I think about stuff like that, that commands respect to me. That's just like, wow, shit, how long did that take? I know building credit is unnecessary, but if you're trying to do it, besides paying the payments on time, what are the best ways to build it? I would, and this is what I do, okay? I have a single credit card, okay? I have one with a large amount on it, but that doesn't matter. I'm just saying something. I use that instead of my debit card when I go get gas, go buy something at the store, do something online, blah, blah, blah. Because if it gets compromised, they compromise my credit card company who has trillions and trillions of dollars instead of my debit card, instead of going through all that hassle with my bank. Hey, they got a proof and sending some police reports and this, and I don't want to do all that when the credit, because my credit card has been hacked a couple of times throughout my time with them. All they do is say, hey, okay, that wasn't you. Nope. They credit back, cancel the other card, send me a new one. How come they do that? Because they clearly see my pattern that I'm not a debt slave. Clearly. One look at my credit report, they will know right away that I do not commit financial crime fraud. I don't do that. Plus, I'm 53 now, so they're pretty sure that I'm not going to start my life of crime at 53. My life of financial fraud. I saw an ad for a home equity loan online that said borrow from yourself. Slave explaining, tell them right to their face. Borrow from yourself. Make you believe you own that house. That's powerful psychological power. That is powerful. It commands, man, I'm telling you, it commands respect. It does. How do you pay respect to it? Properly pay your taxes. That's all you got to do. Properly pay your taxes. It's not really that difficult either. All you got to do, hire a professional, give him all the correct information that he needs so he can load it up and write it all in the proper boxes the way it's supposed to be and send it off. That's it. Because once you understand capitalism is psychological, you'll understand that you're not paying taxes, you're passing taxes. You're passing them. You create a business, you create a product. Our system says, hey, you could charge whatever you want to charge for, if whatever you think you believe the value of whatever you made or discovered, you could charge on it. And you just, whatever that is, you add this tax on it. The debt slaves pays my price and the taxes. I bring them in and then I pass the taxes to the IRS. Here you go. So if they ever ask, hey, where did this money was this, and it didn't look like that, I'll say it's right there. It came from right there. My bank account 520-100 at this bank, and here's my bank account. Hey, look, whatever you want. I have dealt with branch VPs that didn't know VPs, how the bank works. I actually had to explain it to them to get the deals done. You know what I think, Andre? I really wonder at what level at what level does it start? Are they in the big buildings of New York, high rise? Because I know they want us to believe that they're up there. At what level does it start that say, okay, this level is people understand that capitalism is psychological at this level? Found you from Fresh Prince CEO's interview. Okay, shout out to Fresh. And started watching your vids, interviews, learning a lot. Would be cool to see you on Fresh and Fit one day and drop your knowledge. You know, you got to, and this is what, and a lot of people say that, but I think you got to look from a business perspective, okay? What I teach, and I'm cool with that, you know, and especially at Fresh Years, I get it. What I do is not for that channel, right? Because if you think about that channel, it's the girls, it's the gossip and the stuff. I get it. That's how it's no different than like Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer got rich, you know. That's what the majority of people want. That's that fast money. It is what it is, and if you can master that, you're going to get rich really quick, and that's what they've achieved. So, coming on that show, telling you guys about capitalism is psychological, it would damn near contradict anybody that they had on their show that speaks financials, that's talking about money. So you guys would say, hey, wait a minute. So-and-so said you could do this and that if you had this. Wait a minute. That's none of that is true. But if they're, and listen, I want this to be clear too. Even if they were, they did. If what they're doing is legal, I don't care. Like, here's another example. Let me pick somebody you guys know. Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. To me, now I don't know this personally. Okay, I'm just concluding to this. This is just my thought process. Robert Kiyosaki, when he talks about he loves debt, he's talking about business debt. Business. He's not talking about personal debt. But you notice that he never says that. He never makes the distinction. He never says, hey, but you guys do know I'm talking about business. He doesn't say that. Why? Because you guys are already supposed to know that. But debt slaves, you guys don't know. You guys don't know which kind of debt he's talking about. You're just assuming that debt is debt and all the debt's the same. No, it's not. It's not the same at all. According to who? You? Now, it is according to the laws of mathematics, but to the laws of the IRS, that they're different. Math doesn't care if it's business debt or personal debt. Math does not care. Negative is the negative, positive is the positive, period. I have clients that are millionaires. They start. Okay. And that makes sense. Like true millionaires too. Like millionaire money. And you know what's so crazy, debt slaves? This is why I can't have nothing but respect for it. You guys will share a portfolio of your net worth with each other. Everything in it is bank owned. Everything. Damn near everything in it is bank owned. Your house has a mortgage. You got a loan on your business. You got a loan on your car, your personal car. You got a couple cars and you got loans on making payments. You guys probably have never seen a portfolio with somebody's just their name on it, on everything you see in it, just their name, not their name and the bank's name. Because if you opened your financial portfolio to a person that speaks alienese, and they're going to see your name and the bank's name on it, and they look at you and say, you told me your net worth is what? And if you tell them a positive number, they're going to immediately know that you don't know capitalism is psychological. Because if your name on it and the bank's name on it, that means you are part of the bank's financial portfolio, not the other way around. When you guys talk about OPM, why they throw that around, other people's money, you know whose money they're talking about? They're talking about the bank's money. The next time you hear a person say, "Oh man, this is what you do, OPM, use other people's money," you say, "Stop," and say, "Whose money are you talking about?" They're going to have to tell you the bank's money. That's exactly what they want you to. No, not want you to do. That's exactly what you guys have to do. You have to borrow the bank's money to buy anything in your life. If you want a house, you got to go to the bank to ask permission. If you want a car, you got to go to the bank to ask permission. Your transmission just went out on your car, you go to the bank and ask for permission. That's called business. There's nothing wrong with it. One indication is the number of citizenships and passports they have, not their bank balance. One indication is the number of citizenships and passports they have, not their bank balance. I see what you're saying. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's I'm sure that's a big one right there. Wow. Interesting. Never thought about it that way. Okay. I had to reread that one. I'm like, oh, what is he saying? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Put it this way, Deslays. If you're reading that and you believe you're a homeowner with a mortgage, don't bother trying to understand what Andre just said. See that on the screen? Don't worry about that. You'll never know what that means, ever. If you're making if you financed your new iPhone, don't worry about reading that. You're never going to understand what he said there, ever. If your student loan debt is your oldest debt out of all your debts, don't worry about understanding alienese, ever. The bank's money and your lifetime. Sure is, for sure. By the way, thank you for your mortgage and your car payments. I remember, what's so crazy, man? I remember I had a friend, we was in our 30s, maybe mid 30s. And I remember him telling me, now mind you, I'm 35, I'm still a debt slave. I knew at that age, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on. I didn't know, not that I couldn't find anybody. I didn't know the questions to ask. But anyway, I remember I came over one time and he had told me about the equity in his house, and he refinanced his house and he paid off his cars. And he was so happy. Oh man, my cars are free and clear, man. I have no payments. I thought to myself, something's wrong about that. Something doesn't make sense, right? And but I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I guess he's lucky that his cars are paid off. And he kept saying, he was bragging about me. Yeah, no more car payments. I'm like, huh. What he really did was he borrowed even more money, because the bank, you got to remember, the bank owns the house and the cars. A car is a depreciating liability. Okay, because if you run into money problems, what's the first thing you're going to stop paying? Is your car payment. You ain't going to stop paying where you live, because you live there. So that'll be the last thing to suffer. So if they can get you to refinance that money and put it back into a house loan where it's more secure in the house, because they can just kick you out, right? Give the money, take a loan at an interest rate and give the money right back to them. All the while, the debt slave believing they're a homeowner and they now own the car free and clear. That demands respect. All that demands. And once you own yourself, you'll see, you come to this side and you're like, oh, well, because I look at businesses totally different than how people look at it, right? Then you kind of, you look at it, once you understand how it works, and then I look at a big car lot, I like, damn, they're making that kind of money, because you guys, there are no ways for the majority of you guys finance cars. That's why they're so big. The majority of you believe that if you bought a car in cash, it would be a piece of crap. That's what you guys program that in your head. Says who? You? The car you buy don't have to be a piece of crap. Do you know that? You go to a person that's selling the car and it looks like a piece of crap, you can say, no thanks, I don't want to buy that. Now, the younger you are, to get this, while it's free at a low price, because I'm here to tell you, it's only a matter of time before SMD is worldwide. It's only a matter of time now. No, it's only a matter of when. It's only a matter of when. When will Linnell be the biggest motivational speaker in the world? When? Now, you probably thinking to yourself, whoa, he's on his high horse and this and that. I'm sure you guys thinking that, but that I can see it. It's crystal clear to me. I understand that I'm going to, I understand that I'm going the right direction because math says I am. When you come to the positive side, say it like this. Say like, when you drive down the beach and you'll see very, very nice homes along the beach. You know what I see? I just see big houses. Because I have no idea how those people purchase those houses. If they have a mortgage, it doesn't matter if the house is by the beach. That's just the bank's house by the beach. That's it. That's nothing. And if you're close to the beach with a house and you're looking out your window and you look at, wow, I can see the water. You're looking through the bank's house window to look at the water. The bank is going to let you stay there as long as you keep making those monthly payments. What's up, Geek Surgeon?
What's up, LJ? Peace to the debt-free guys.
Welcome, sir.
Man, I just came up, man, to thank you, man. 2 years ago, I remember I got on your stream, man, and I was basically shell shocked. But now I can say today I'm $200.07 from being out of debt.
Oh. See, that's alien needs. If you go all the way down to the penny, that's alien needs. All right.
Yep.
$200 away.
And 7 cents.
And 7 cents. Now,
and the 7 cents is on the upside down car that I bought. Or I'm sorry, finance.
Okay. See, and those are important lessons. But hey, remind me of can you still remember what, like, so they can understand what shell shocked you back then?
Oh man, it was like my brain was so scrambled, and I'm like, huh? I didn't understand. I didn't know what happened, where I was.
When did you start to come along? Did you have to keep repeating, listening over and over? What made you?
No, it was actually the first time I came up on your panel. And you kind of just broke it down to me. And it was like, and I was writing things down. I was like, oh shit, he's absolutely right. Man, wow. So from that day I came on your panel, I've been working to get out of debt. So it was, I wanted to thank you.
So I'm hearing some feedback. Can you mute your thing for a minute while I talk? Because
okay.
Yeah, everybody, it's so crazy. Everybody says that, right? And then they finally say, okay, let me see. Why does this guy keep talking about he's right? Why does he keep doing that? And then you start using that calculator. You're like, damn, that's true. How come nobody else is doing it? Because that's how it's supposed to be. Go ahead, man.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Math don't lie.
How's it feel? How's it feel to almost own yourself? How's it feel?
Oh man, I look at other people. I'm like you. I just listen to other people and just listen to conversations, and I'm like, okay, all right. You
Now
find it?
you don't pull
They
your
say,
mask
"Oh, I
down in
bought a
public, right?
car." Okay, okay.
You don't
I
pull your
don't even.
mask down in public, right?
Yeah, they out in public. I don't say anything. I'm
No,
like,
I'm
okay.
saying you don't pull your mask down in public.
Oh
Like,
no, no,
oh,
no.
okay.
I don't even have that conversation. I just say, okay, okay. Like I had a friend of mine. She said she was buying a house. I'm like, okay, you mean financing, right? She was like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Kind of you made her glitch. You made her glitch. You made her have a glitch in the debt matrix moment.
I guess I did.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
even had discussions with people at work, and they like, well, people got to get in the house. You gonna crush their dreams if they don't get in the house and this, that, and that. I'm like, okay, if they don't have the money, okay.
Oh, welcome. Well, hey man, welcome to the positive side. Welcome to the
Oh
positive
man,
side.
once I pay this $200.07 off,
Hell
I
yeah.
will be on the positive side.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome, man.
Yes, sir. Everything, nothing but positive things from here.
Welcome to the positive side, baby. Welcome.
And it's funny, I say about maybe at this point about 17 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I took out a loan for school,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so insignificant. I'm so glad I didn't continue. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
$5,000.
Right.
But I
Right.
paid that $5,000 off. But
Smart.
I sit here and think about it, I'm like, man, I could be hundreds of $1,000s in debt.
Yes, you did a smart move, man. Smart, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't do that.
Yep. And it's funny you was talking about Robert Kiyosaki. I would listen to his programs and read his books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just couldn't figure out. I'm like, okay, he's talking about using debt to get rich.
Right.
But I'm like, wait a minute, I got personal debt that I have, but I'm not understanding how this works. But like you said, most
exploiting
people,
that. That's how it works.
Like most people should already understand there's a difference between personal and business. And that's
the majority do not, though. They don't. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I saw somebody come up.
No, I'm about to bring. Oh, you can stay on if you want. I was going to just say.
Okay.
You gonna stay up?
Yeah, I'll stay up.
Okay, cool. What's up, Arlene?
Hi, you can hear me? I'm driving.
Yeah, so we can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. SMD fam. To the geek surgeon, I just want to say congratulations to you for getting out of. That's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
But
too bad we're the only ones that's gonna congratulate him. He can't tell nobody else.
For real. But I'm driving, so listening. I enjoy LJ. I enjoy listening to all your broadcasts, past, present. But a few things as I'm driving, I was thinking. The other day, I won't say I got into it with my partner. He's retiring in like 2 weeks. Tomorrow, he's closing on selling his house. And he's making a beautiful profit. And I asked him the other day, I said, I don't want to get into your business, but I'm curious. Or like, when you sell the house, do you still have money to pay back to the bank? He told me yes. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot, but he still made a profit on his home. And he mortgaged the home, did a lot of beautiful the house is beautiful. He's making a beautiful profit, and good for him, Mm-hmm. So then I kind of, that opened up me taking my mask off, because he keeps bothering me, and it's bothering at this point, where I said it to him the other day, about our retirement, the pension, the additional pension, the 457, 401. And he keeps saying, Arlene, you have to, because I'm looking to leave. Remember, I'm looking to leave within the next 3 years. Mm-hmm. And with this 3 year period, if I commit, I get to catch up. Like, I get to give more than I get to give more to catch up, the catch up phase, they say. Right. And so he said, Arlene, you really should take advantage of that. And I said, no, I'm in debt. I can't take advantage of crap. Like, no, I don't, and he couldn't get it.
Did you say it to him?
I did. Yeah, that was the conversation.
How did he respond?
No, he just listened. I said, I understand what you're saying about the tax benefits, but it doesn't benefit me because it's not bringing me into any other tax. It's not bringing me to any tax brackets because I'm still in debt. Right. I said, I'm in debt. I go, it doesn't help me, but I appreciate you trying to give me your debt perspective, but no, that doesn't work for me. I told him that it doesn't work for me, you know. So then we ended the conversation and we didn't talk anymore about money. However,
what else about money you said?
We didn't talk anymore about money.
Okay.
We ended the conversation. He keep, you know, for a while he kept saying it, and I just said it. I mean, listen, it doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit me. But even more so, like I know I shared with you in the past, being that I'm going to retire, quote unquote, so young, I can't even touch that money. Like, without all the penalties, I won't even qualify to get that money.
Well, you can't now because you're thinking of your paycheck, right? You're thinking of your yearly salary. You won't, but because you're thinking of the high tax bracket that you're in today, okay? But once you quit, now I'm just saying something. I'm not a tax professional or anything. Once you quit and have no job, what tax bracket are you in then?
Well, I'll still be up there pretty much.
No, if you have no job, you ain't making any money if you ain't got no job. Say like you took a year off. What are you gonna claim as an income? Probably some Well, you probably have a large savings. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to report any income because you're not working.
Well, the way I've set it up, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to retire, and when I retire, I will still be in the tax bracket, whatever. Like I understand.
But you won't be. But you got to remember, the majority of people that pull from the retirement at the correct retirement age, they need all that money.
Correct.
Right? You're probably barely going to even need it.
Correct, and that's a blessing. And that's a blessing.
That is.
So the way I'm looking at it, when like the money that's there is going to stay there. I'm not going to touch it. And when it matures and I could get it. But I will be very much so in my own business, doing my own thing. So I'm not gonna, I'm grateful I don't have to depend on that money. But as you was talking, I was thinking that LJ, for what it's worth, I mean, I'm be 45 next week. And the idea that I've known nothing but debt since the age of 17 when I went away to college. I was introduced to debt. Let it be the student loans. Let it be the credit cards. And so as the idea of buying something in cash, that's a foreign concept to many of us because all we know is debt, and that's the way it is. Yeah. It's set up that way, as you say, it's business, but it sucks that that's all we know. So for those who are listening, the younger people, I know it was a person you were talking to before who's moving out the house, who's debt free. Like if you could get that message earlier, that's a beautiful.
Because it doesn't suck on the positive side. It does not suck on the positive side. It's beautiful. I said it's beautiful on the positive side.
For sure. But like I think about myself and like I purchased nothing. Nothing I purchased in my life has been without the bank's help.
Yeah, right. Me too.
Bank's help. Everything.
Same here.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, I really thought the bank being part of your life was normal. I thought that was normal.
Yeah. Yes. But as you with Dave Ramsey and the baby steps and getting out of debt, it was just like a whole nother language of freeing yourself and not being okay, but being in debt, so as you continue growing like you're doing with SMD and it's exciting to see more and more new people come along,
Well,
so keep it up.
And then I really look at, when you look at businesses, with alienees, right? And then I always look at Dave Ramsey, right? He always says, get down to the mortgage, then start putting away 15% into retirement. Well, we know you can't do that. So that means that's business. Okay.
Yes.
So that means, I think he sends them to some Investor Pros or something, right?
Correct.
Then he sends you to some people that are going to pay to tell them that they can go against the laws of mathematics.
Correct.
Right. And that's business. I don't really care why or how, but that'll teach me, okay, this is what debt slaves believe, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll just add that to your business model. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But you'll probably, you'll be selling something worth, right? I feel like what I do is you can't even put a price tag on it, but the majority don't know that though.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, I love SMD. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I can't even remember how I freaking found you, but I know I'm grateful. I know that.
I know. And you know what? I'm excited for you. I can't wait till you pay off that house. because I don't know what that feels like yet. So you're gonna beat me to that feeling, and so you're gonna have to explain it to me.
For sure. But keep it up. I just wanted to jump in and again, congratulations to the other gentleman who said he's $200 out of debt. I want to just donate it to you. Give me your Cash App. I freaking give it to you.
That's how we do. Show love. That's what it is.
Amen. Well, listen, thank you for letting me jump on. You guys have a good day. Let me test you to drive. But take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Ain't that crazy, Geek Surgeon, man? It's like, too bad you can only share your $200 away from being free happy story with us. You can't even share it with nobody else.
Nope. I can't share it with anybody. No family members or anybody. It's like I'm on an island by myself.
You're an alien, man. I keep saying it.
Yep.
See, they believe aliens. They believe aliens look like the ones they see on TV. No, it's us, the people that know.
No. It's aliens walking amongst real people.
Yes. Man, congratulations, man. How long? Now, you said you've been in debt all your life too?
Most of my life. That's all I've known. I think I started getting in debt when I was like 18.
Me too. I did too.
And it was funny. My first credit card, my mom signed me on with her.
Keeping it in the family, though. Keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
We know that's now. Have you been able to share this with any of your friends, your family members? Nobody?
Yeah, I got one friend that I was able to share this with. He was glad. He was happy for me.
Did he get it?
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, because you guys,
he understood.
You got the gift to be able to see if somebody got it or not, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But other than that,
he just paid his house off back in May or June.
Oh wow.
So he knew exactly what I was talking about.
Okay. Oh yeah, that means he did. All right. Congratulations to him.
Yep.
So was he listening to some of the videos, or where'd you point him to? SMD videos?
No, he just did it on his own. He's always been
told him. Okay, got it.
Yeah, he's an older guy.
Okay.
But he's always been on. He's had a business for like 30 years. So
gotcha.
Yeah, so he finally paid his house off and got rid of some debt and cars, and he just basically getting down to the bare bones.
Now you have a regular job, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna just give you an idea of what's gonna start to happen to you. Okay.
All right.
Having a job is gonna feel like the walls are closing in on you.
I always felt like that anyway.
Right, because but I'm talking about when you get to zero, you're gonna really start to feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I always tell people along the journey, I always tell them, start thinking about something that you would love to do. It wouldn't feel like work, and turn it into a business. I always try to tell people to think of that along their journey as they're getting out of debt. So when you get to zero,
I actually have been thinking about that. I was thinking about maybe trying to get some contracts with the government in IT.
Okay. And if you love doing that, I would do that. Just see how it works. See if it connects, because you're going to know if it was the right choice. You're going to know pretty quickly. Okay. And then if you get what you desire, you're not going to feel like work. It's not going to feel like work, and you're going to make a lot of money.
That's what I've been seeking. I don't want anything I do feel like work. Everything I've been doing felt like work.
And so crazy. Let me give you a quick story. So when I was in my 30s, I made the decision I was going to get into computers. And all my friends around me would say, "Why are you doing that? That's for white people and this and that." So I was like, "What?" No. Then I said, "No, I'm going to do it." Right.
Okay.
And then I got into computers, and of course, there's not really many black people in there. I met mostly white people, East Indians. Those are the main people in there, right?
Right.
Once I got into it, I became a virtualization engineer. But one thing I learned as I was learning this computer system, a lot of people, the admins, they never read the manuals of the software that we use, because the shit is boring, right? I'm sure people. But one time I was looking for a fix to something inside the system, right? Just long story short, and nobody could give me the answer. Nobody. I don't know. And what I did was, one night I went home and read the whole manual of the software system and figured out the answer to my problem. And it made me realize some people are not as smart as you think they are. They just
I'm just working every day with people. I figured that out.
Yeah, but when you're in computers, man, and I strongly suggest young IT people getting in the game. When you get a job and you have somebody that's been working there for years and you guys work on a particular software system and this person is training you and they train you how to do this and that and this and that, take the time to find the manual and read through it and see if the person that trained you correctly. That's what I strongly suggest.
Yeah, I never thought about reading the documentation first, because most people just jump right into it like, okay, we got to get this done.
Correct. It's no different than when people install apps. They always say, do you agree to this? How many people you think read that stuff? Nobody.
They don't.
Nobody read that. I don't. So I know nobody else does. I know that. But yeah, man. But congratulations to you, man. For real.
Man, I'm grateful to you, LJ. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think I ran into you through O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's how I got connected to you.
Oh, way back. That's way back.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, man. Wow. That's a long time. That's a few years.
Yeah, it's at least about what, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, I think that's a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, man. And you still come through, watch the videos, watch the live?
Oh, I always be watching in the clouds.
No, believe it or not, the majority of people do that. That's crazy.
Yep.
But, as long as they getting the information and receiving it like you, being successful, some people can take this information and know what to do with it like you did, right? But there's some other people that need that might be more scrambled, their finances, and then need my help to put it back together.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was already on the path of trying to get things straight. I just couldn't figure it out. Right. Until you came along, everything made sense. I'm like, okay, that's why I haven't been able to buy a house or buy some real estate for investing and all that. I'm like, okay, this is why.
Because
can't buy anything if you're in the negative.
Yeah, and it's confusing. Like if you're out there trying to figure it out, and you got all these people trying to, hey, look, I'm rich. I invested in real estate. I bought me a house. You're going to think they have money. But when you find out that they financed everything, you realize they own nothing. They are owned. They don't know mortgages by people, not houses. You still there, Geek?
Yep. Well, isn't there a definition for mortgage, like to the death or something like that?
I mean, I heard of the meaning of it. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Well, I think, you know what? I think they put that definition maybe to wake people up. Damn, till death. Some debt slaves will read and say, oh, see, you're supposed to have a mortgage for the rest of your life. And that's okay. And then they go on with their life. But then there's some people that might read the definition and say, wait a minute, I'm going to have this till I'm dead? Oh, no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, that was me. I'm like, nah, I don't want this till I'm dead. No, I'm good.
But I mean, you know what it really is. They've sold, when a debt slave signs up for a mortgage, they have sold themselves, a piece of themselves, to the bank for the next 30 years. And that's only if they don't refinance the house.
Because they refinance it, that's another, 5-7 years?
The clock resets back to 30.
Oh yeah, okay.
That if that doesn't wake up till death, you'd be like, that would wake me up if I read that when I was a debt slave. I wouldn't just accept it. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to have a relationship with the bank for the next 30 years. Hell no.
Nah.
Well, all right, man. Thank you for jumping up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll drop down, let somebody else come up or whatever you're going to do. So I'll catch you next time.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You too.
That's what I like, man. I do. I like it. I like to hear the success stories of people that have taken this advice and capitalized on it and understand, hey, listen, understand that once you understand capitalism is psychological, you can do anything. You'll meet the right people because they will know that you speak the right language. They will know you're not a debt slave. So they won't feel as the waste, because it's a waste of time talking to debt slaves that don't know. You guys have no idea how much that's a time waster. Don't avoid the penalty on a retirement. Yeah, please don't. Yeah, you're right. Retirement account in exchange for the penalty of mortgage interest. Exactly. I hope Arlene's still on. Do not, I should have said that earlier. Do not worry about the penalty. Don't. You know, I think, me personally, when I think about a 401k, and once you wake up and realize capitalism is psychological, and you'll say, oh, shoot. And then I believe the penalty, not only is it to scare you from trying to pull it out, but it's to say, it's also for people that know. Like if you wake up and say, oh man, no, I'm not gonna have my money sitting there. I'm gonna take that money and use it somewhere else. That's like the IRS saying, okay, well, you figured it out, but since this money hasn't been taxed, we're gonna take it. And then we're gonna add it to your tax bracket and pushing you up in your tax bracket. It's almost like we're taking back some of this interest that you may have accrued on this loan. That's what it really is. Okay. They're just taking back some of the interest that you made. You don't get it. You said you were going to keep it till you're 65 and you decided you wasn't. So we're going to take back all the money, or not, if all of it, for taking it early. That's the penalty. I get it. Totally get it. Sub Outcast, mortgage comes from the French, which translates to dead pledge in English, I'm sure. 401ks are for aliens. Now debt slaves, if you're listening, I want you to understand this, okay? When you hear somebody says 401ks are for aliens, this is what I want you to think. I want you to think about, like, I think it's this year, you can put up to $20,500. Look it up. I'm not sure. It's either 20,000 or 20,500, whatever. Just look up the maximum amount that you can contribute to a 401k next year or this year, right? Now, some of these, because I remember asking myself this, like I remember when I last put some in, it was like 19,500, something back then. When I was a debt slave and I heard that information, I said to myself, who in the hell can take out $20,000 a year out of their yearly salary and put it into a retirement plan? I thought that was bananas. I was like, who in the hell has that kind of money? People who are not in debt, that understand how taxes work. The only reason why I know this information, because before I left my last job, I fully funded my 401k for the first time in my working history. And I was sort of forced to do it. This is how I learned. I was at this particular job and I was about to get a raise to hit 6 figures. Okay. This would have been the first time in my life to reach 6 figures. So when I did get that raise that pushed me over, I couldn't wait for the next check. I couldn't wait to see how much it was going to be. And then when I got it, guess what? It was less than the check before the raise. I thought to myself, how is that possible? That's when I learned about tax brackets. Then I said to myself, then I looked at my 401k and said, okay, I'm up in this higher tax bracket. How can I bring it down so I can pay less in taxes? Use my 401k. Guess what I did? I maxed out my 401k because I wasn't in debt. So I fully funded it. So it goes into that money goes into my retirement account, and then I get to take off that $20,000 off my annual income for contributing to the plan, which and then lowered my tax bracket. Something that I never did before, never even knew why, what I never looked at tax brackets, never. I thought tax brackets were for rich people. Then when I passed out of my tax bracket into the higher tax bracket, I was like, why is my check less? That's when I learned tax brackets. I'm like, wait a minute, that's like double dipping. You mean if I fully fund my HSA, I pull out this card and pay up all out-of-pocket medical expenses with no taxes? Yeah, of course. You guys can't do that, debt slaves. You have no money to put into a HSA. You don't have any money to do that. When you have no money, you fully fund an HSA. They give you a credit card, and any medical out-of-pocket medical expenses, use the card. That means no taxes. Fully, hey, it's like it's a thank you. Hey, thank you, says the IRS or the government for doing that. And it grows. But some of these you got to, for a family, it's like 5,000, 6,000, whatever, right? You guys don't have any money to put even 6,000 to an HSA plan, so that, or a 401k. So that's why most businesses, that's why they say, hey, if you do this, we'll match you. That gets you. If you guys believe you get something for free, that's for you, debt slaves. If you believe when you contribute to a 401k plan while having a mortgage and you think you're getting a match, you're not getting anything. Matches are just to get you guys to contribute more. Anytime you guys think you're going to get something for free, that's what you guys do. That's what you guys do. All you got, hey, hey man, you videos, hey, you're leaving money on the table. You better go and get that match up to 6%. But you guys are matching nothing. That's just to get you to contribute. And then the job says, hey, if you reinvest, we can give you some stocks at this price. And if you buy these stocks now, you'll get them at this price. While the public, can you imagine? All the money that goes into a sponsored employee 401k, you taking the money right back and giving it back to them. Say goodbye to your retirement. It will not be there. Pensions in particular, toast. Most CPAs don't know that the tax code is magic. Yo, they don't know. And if you're a young CPA, come see me. I'll make you the best in the United States of America. If you want to stop there, you might can go to worldwide if you want, but I'll make you the best. There will be no better CPA than you. They won't even know how you're doing it. Won't even know. LJ, the work you've doing is so important. I thought that Dave Ramsey was crazy, but you're next level. So I'm glad I found you. Appreciate it. I always tell people with that new to the channel, if it wasn't for Dave Ramsey, I wouldn't be here. I'm glad I was into computers where I was already using numbers every day. When you're into computers, you gotta learn to count in ones and zeros. I mean, I went to class and my teacher was like, hey, we're going to teach you to count in ones and zeros. I was like, what are you talking about, counting ones and zeros? And then once they teach you, you're like, oh, okay, that's what that means. It's like that. Those of you that can that understand binary, it's like that. That's what it's like being on the positive side of the economy. We just use math. Even counting in binary still uses math. Binary still has to use, like if you hear it say, you're counting in ones and zeros, technically, but you're still using math when you're counting in ones and zeros. I love it too. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, it's only a matter of when. And I want you guys to hear me talking on these videos right now. Before SMD is all over the world, I want you to hear me say it now. I want you guys to hear me say it before it happens. So nobody can say, oh, he's just this and that. No, I'm telling you now, before anything happens, So when it happens, you can come back and look at this video and say, damn, he told us way back then when what was going to happen, and no, not when, but what was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. Exactly, Andre. 10-digit calculator is all you need. And I want you guys, like, when I go on podcasts, because it's going to become more and more frequent, I want you to hear people laugh every time I say bring up the calculator. People be thinking it's funny. I'm like, why are you laughing? I don't get it. When I say grab the calculator, people kind of giggle. I mean, I get why they giggle, but it's weird. But I do understand that's how it is, especially if you've been in the debt matrix all your life. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler joined it, man. Shout out to Tyler. Good friend of mine. We used to work together. Computer buddies. We just, him and I just, our friendship became pretty quickly because we could joke about the same things. Just went up to Seattle last week for Thanksgiving, and him and I met up for breakfast. Good place though. That was we went at the perfect time because by the time we left, that joint was crowded. I remember, like, when I first started listening to Dave Ramsey, right? I used to see people say, oh, he's mean. He's this and that. He's an a-hole. I'm like, where are you guys getting that from? I don't get it. And what it is that I like direct information because I want to get to where I want to get to the fastest way I can. Like, people don't really realize how fast I can accelerate them. They have no idea. I'll put you in like a Star Trek transporter and just transport you to the front of the line. Transport you to the positive side of the economy. You get over here and say, oh, shit, this is all psychological? Yes, it's all psychological. You mean money doesn't exist for them? No, it doesn't exist. It's them. They like gold because it's shiny. They said if it's shiny, it means something. Whatever. Hey, listen, whatever debt slaves want to believe, we just let them believe it. If a debt slave financed a car for 84 months and talking about they got a great deal, you let them believe that. You say congratulations to you. They don't know that they just married themselves to the bank and their job for the next 48 months. It's like a triangle. You, your bank, and the job. You guys are in a pyramid. And guess who created it? You. Maybe that's what the pyramids represent. How to trap debt slaves. It's like a triangle. You guys made a permanent, for the next 84 months of your life, you made a triangle. You, your job, and the bank. It was good. We're both growing beards. He's got a longer beard than mine. He even had a ponytail. I was like, Tyler, you're doing a little too much. Bring it. Hey, we're in the 50s now. You can't. Yeah. I mean, I didn't actually say that to him, but that's what I was thinking. You know, I don't know. Pocket Watching with JT is a black CPA with a great YouTube channel who preaches against debt too. However, I'm not sure if he stops at mortgages as well, like Dave Ramsey. Yeah, I know who he is. I don't really, I mean, if you're a listener, you would know if he has a mortgage or not, right? But even saying stopping at a mortgage, this is even saying, and I'm not just saying this to you every day, I'm just saying in general, it's not me saying you can't do that, it's saying math do that. Now, you guys got to remember, even though, and again, I don't know if JT says that or not, but if he's telling people to invest if he's telling people he invests while having a mortgage, I'm just here to tell you that you can't do that. No different than Dave Ramsey telling people to invest. When you get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% into retirement. You can't do that. According to who? Them or mathematics. Mathematics says you can't do that. So I understand it's business, right? Dave Ramsey makes money sending people to the Vesta Pros or whoever he has. And I'm sure JT, that's how you make your money. Because if you really told everybody that they literally, if you tell them, hey, there's no way you can invest while having, you wouldn't make any money as a business. I get it. I totally understand it. Nothing's wrong with it. It's not evil. It's just called business. When you come to me, I'm here to tell you that you can't. If you ever want to get on the positive side of the economy, I'm here to help those people that realize, according to math, you can't do that. All you have to do is believe the calculator. That's it. If it wasn't for Dave Ramsey, I wouldn't be free. When I listen to JT, he sounds genuinely like he wants people to be free and get debt free. I see all positive things coming from him, honestly. He's just not for me. He's for other people. The science to getting rich. This is the answer. Psychological capitalism. Worries me though. Not sure I don't, definitely not an alien for sure. Because when you're alien, you speak a certain way, okay? And you don't vary from it. The pyramid is mathematical proof. So yes, LJ, it shows how long the system has been in place, like the crook and the flail on tuts. See, now I got to look it up. You always give me damn homework all the time. Why don't you just say a regular sentence and then damn homework? I'm sick of homework. Okay, got a picture of it. Like here's an example. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another example. I know for a fact that the psychological can only be seen using mathematics. Okay. I believe, and this is just my belief, okay, because I don't know. I believe Einstein's quote, E equals MC squared. I believe it's the mathematical equation to how you discover the psychological and the psychological version of yourself. That's what that math equation says to me. You're thinking, okay, what do you mean by that? Okay. So energy, I consider psychological equals mass equals physical to me. Okay. And if Einstein is saying that's equal, he's saying, okay, the physical and psychological are equal. And then you're probably thinking, well, how is that equal? Or he's trying to tell you how. So then you take the speed of light squared in meters, which is 299, 792,458. And if you break up those numbers and add them up individually, they'll come to 55. And then you break those up. 5 plus 5 is 10. And 1 plus 0 is 1. You bring down the 1, the squared, to show you that these two together equals 1 forever, because 1 squared equals 1 forever. That's how I interpret it. Now, if you ask me why I'm looking at something like that, or why am I have no idea. I can't really explain that part, but that's what it looks like to me. And the reason why I believe it that way, because that's how I live today. It's 100% fact that there's a psychological piece to capitalism. 100% mathematical fact. Then once you know it, you respect it. Because you can only imagine how long it took this to be in place. It had to take centuries. Tyler says midlife change up. Goodbye to the old debt slave Tyler. Hello to the new debt free. You know, so crazy. Even Tyler has changed, and he's recognizing his changes. You turn into a different person, because once you're free, you know you don't need a job anymore. It's different. When you don't need a job where you work, it's very different. What are your thoughts on how to take care of old debt that's in collection? I think Dave pretty much has that particular area covered. I think Dave says something like, you can negotiate with them, never, you can call them up. Hey, I got this amount of money. Do you want it? Because debt collectors they will take less than amount, okay? Especially if they know they're not going to get nothing. If you haven't paid on a debt in 7 years, say like the debt is $3,000, and you haven't paid on the debt in 5 years, 6 years, and you call them up and say, I have $1,500 to close out this debt, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take it. Because if you haven't paid in 5 to 7 years, the likelihood of them catching you again is going to probably be unlikely, so they're going to get something. You say, okay, cool. We made a deal. Send that to me in writing so they don't pull no flim-flam. And then you put that money, you take the money that you made a deal on, you put it on a card, and you give them that card number so they don't take anything else. Dave Grant said, do not give them the information to your bank account. Do not do that. You take the agreed upon money, you put it on a card, and you pay them with that card. So if they decide to think they're going to take more, they can't, because it's only $1,500 on it. Physical and mental changes. Totally. And Tyler's new to zero. He's new to zero. So he doesn't know he got a long ways to go. But his journey is different than mine. I did it by myself. Tyler has to do it with his family. Because I've heard people say that to me. Oh, LJ, you were just able to do it because you were by yourself. You don't know. Now I have proof that it can be done with a man with a family. So shut up. Debt slaves always have a reason why they can't do something. Every day says, you're right about the alien talk. You never change how you speak on anybody's podcast. Your message is simple but not easy. See, and that's important, because I want people to see that. I want people to see this dude never varies of what he's saying. He keeps saying the same thing. He's not switching up. And I'm telling the people that follow, I don't have to switch up, because it's just math. You don't switch up the calculator. I didn't invent it. I'm not talking to you every day, but I'm saying in general, math is all. This is why you guys hear me sound so confident, because math is never wrong. So once you guys instill that into your brain, and then you guys hear me on these podcasts, I want you guys to see how the debt slaves try to go around math, because they really believe they can go around math, and they can't. So you pay attention to the people that's going to challenge what I say. It doesn't really matter if they challenge me. I don't care, because they're not going to get around math. But they don't know they can't get around math. So you watch them try. You watch them try, and you'll be amazed at what they believe. They will tell you what they believe on the negative side of the economy. Oh man, I bought these 2 properties, man. My mortgage is only $2,000, but I charge $4,000, and now I'm making $4,000 profit. No, you're not. You're not making nothing. Debt slaves don't have the money to buy the property, but they think if they finance it, also they got instant profit. Says who? You or mathematics? The bank doesn't care what debt slaves call themselves. Business owners, homeowners, rental property owners. Hey, as long as you're making the payments, you can call yourself whatever you want. If you believe you have equity while having a mortgage, that's a belief. That's not a mathematical fact. That's a belief. You didn't have the money to buy the house, but you think you own the equity. That doesn't even make any sense. Wow, this house is $400,000. You got $400,000? No, I got to go ask my daddy. Who's your daddy? The bank. The bank says, sure, if you got good credit, sure, here, but you got to pay us back our money. You can live there as long as you make the monthly payments back to us. That's the deal. If you don't, we're kicking you out. But yet, when you get the keys and get on social media, you think you're a homeowner. The bank doesn't care what you call yourself. Long as you make the monthly payments on time, the bank doesn't care what you think of yourself with the house. People get discombobulated with the message. Yes, they do. Debt slaves mix the word buy and finance. Like, just listen, okay? Debt slaves don't know they're saying these. Hey, I just bought a house. I got an awesome interest rate. If you got an interest rate, that means you didn't buy it. There is no interest rate when you buy a house in cash. Do you guys know that? There's no interest rate. So when you hear somebody say that, I just bought a house, I got an awesome interest rate. Or I only put this much down. You know, debt slaves, they brag about putting no money down on a house. They finance the whole 100% of the house. And they brag about it oh yeah, I'm making a profit, man. My house is this. I bought it. You didn't buy nothing. You didn't buy it 10 years ago. You didn't buy it 15 years ago. You didn't buy it 20 years ago. And if you're young listening to this, I strongly suggest just come straight to me. Come straight to me. I'll give you the blueprint and you're going to take off. If you get this in your 20s, your 30s is going to be better. Your 40s is going to be even better. Your 50s, you're going to go through life with no stress, sleeping like a baby every single day. Debt slaves can't sleep. They got so much debt, they can't even sleep right. When you have no debt, you sleep like a baby. Sleep is beautiful. Hey, you lazy, hey, whatever. Hey, you say what? Get to work. Get to work. Now that I'm debt free, improve my health, working on improving my health, reversing diabetes and relative stress. And I'm sure Omanique can speak for this. I guarantee you, stress is it has to be a huge contributor to bad health. It has to be. It's like, this is the way I think, and I'm not no doctor. I'm just telling you my opinion. Just like everybody know when feeling good, they release these endorphins that make you feel good. So that means if you feel bad, something's being let go of your body too. Something's being let go in your body by your body. And if you don't have that, it's not doing it. I'm sure it can't be. It cuts off your appetite. You can't eat, can't sleep, whatever. It does all that. Stress. What's up, Lumina? Still searching for my gift, LJ. You'll find it. Long as you believe that you have one, you'll find it. And I always tell people this is along your journey. And this is my conclusion, okay? And this is how I came to the conclusion. You're searching for the psychological version of yourself. How do I know this? Because I found mine. How do I know I found mine? Everything that happened through my life to this point, I always tell people this. I remember one time I was working. I was at my job. And this was while I was on my journey. Or was I? No, I was done. I was debt free at this particular time. Still with a job, though. I still worked a year with still a job. I remember one time I was reading a manual on the latest upgraded software. Something stopped me in the middle of it and says, you're not interested in this computer shit anymore. And I was in my desk by myself. Now, it wasn't a physical voice. It wasn't used by my ears, but something in my mind said, you're not interested in this stuff anymore. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm having a whole conversation. This is my bread and butter and this and that. You see where I'm at today? That's why it was told to me then. So I could be here on the mic with you talking to you guys right now, because had I not listened and stayed at my job and not got out of debt, blah, 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 I'd probably still be there. You guys would have never heard of SMD ever. But to even start, listen, but to even start even thinking that you're going to find a psychological version of yourself, you have to first own yourself first. If you ever want to be on the positive side of the economy, understand why you don't cheat on your taxes, why you don't commit tax fraud, evasion. There's no purpose to do that. There is no purpose in doing that. Once you can see, you're like, oh, if I cheat on my taxes, I'm just cheating myself. Yes. Especially if you're a business owner right now and you're cheating on your taxes, you're only cheating yourself. Do you know that? You're only cheating you. You can't sleep because you're waiting for that letter to come in the mail from the IRS. The knock at your door. Knock, knock, knock. Hey, yeah, it's the IRS. Yeah, our numbers don't match your numbers. If they're knocking on your door, they already know. So the best thing to do when you open the door and say, yes, I did it. I cheated. The money's there. I didn't do something with it. Save them a lot of time. But if you're a person who goes, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Here's another one, okay? This is for, now you can't see this, okay? Because you don't understand capitalism is psychological. I guarantee you the majority of people who are delivering stuff, food and groceries, and I guarantee you the majority of you guys are not paying your taxes. Some of you guys are years behind. Years. This is what I strongly suggest you do. Go to them. Because I'm sure you can't have a good sleep wondering when the IRS is going to come knocking on your door or freeze your bank accounts or whatever. Go find you a debt-free tax attorney. You bring all your stuff to him. Hey, I've been working all these jobs. I haven't paid a lick of tax for the last 4 or 5 years. Give the lawyer all your information. Remember, the tax lawyer must be debt-free. They must be that personally debt-free. The tax lawyer, the tax preparer, the whatever, the requirement is they must be personally debt-free. They will do the taxes the correct way, clearly showing the IRS that, hey, IRS, I fucked up. I didn't pay my taxes and this and that. I didn't file nothing. Here's all my bank accounts. You tell them all your bank accounts. You accept the CashApp, this pay, that pay, this. You tell them everything. Because you better believe the companies that you work for to deliver food or whatever you're doing, they report their taxes to the IRS. I promise you, they do. You can't get that big committing tax evasion, okay? You can't get that big doing that. I am undoing the damage I've caused myself and from debt and stress. Exactly. See what I'm saying? Oh, Monique is working on that now. That's what happens. You just know. I remember one time before I even got to this level, I said to myself, like when you break up in relationships, you're always trying to pick out everything the other person did or whatever, right? The first time in my life, I said to myself, I am the common denominator in these relationships. Instead of always looking at the other person, I said, I'm the common denominator. I need to fix me. That's when everything changed, once I started fixing me. Once I got peace in my life from being debt-free, I didn't accept a person with no peace in their life. If I go out on a date and I can clearly see this person doesn't have any peace in their life, worried about debt and the job. Oh my God, I'm working 50, 60, 70 hours. No. Go on a date with a person and then you find out they work 70, 80 hours a week. No. You can't have a relationship with a person that works 60, 70 hours a week. What kind of relationship do you think you're going to have? Because this is what you're going to have the future with if you get in a relationship with a person like that. What am I supposed to do? How are we going to live like this? I can't be able to afford all that if I don't work the overtime. All that slave splaining. You got to leave. No, thank you. Why not? You're in too much debt. Yes, they are. And I understand that it's business, but sometimes when I'm at a restaurant, say like I'm at a restaurant waiting to be seated, right? You always got an area. I would happen to be close to the area where they pick up the food for people. Now, I've seen some of the people that pick up this food. I'm like, this is okay. I see some of the people that pick up this food to deliver it. I'm like, damn, what does your car look like? What does the inside of your car look like? Where are you setting my bag of food down on when you get in your car? Here's a business opportunity for an entrepreneur that might be looking for something. Create a delivery service that has respect. Your people are dressed a certain way. Sort of like Chick-fil-A. You see Chick-fil-A, I guess when they deliver it personally, they got a uniform person. But if you created a delivery service, people that look clean, wear nice, clean uniforms, and they deliver, I promise you, people will go your way. Because you think I'm the only person thinking like this? You see some of the people that just clearly don't give a nothing about, this is just a quick job, make some quick money to do something. Oh, no, you're working with my food. No. How you know you ain't getting some food from somebody that's been delivering food for the last, ain't got no money and been delivering all week, 8 hours, they ain't got no money for food. What do you think's going to happen? Now, I don't order my food like that. I never do that because that's just a thing I just cannot do. But I'm sure there's some stories of some eating food or your food got lost or pretend it was delivered and it really wasn't, just because they need to eat. Only debt slaves brag about working 80-hour work weeks. They brag about it. I'm getting in that time, man. Christmas coming up, man. I got to get all of my. Really? You like working 80 hours a week? What about you can't go up to them and say, what about your family? What about your relationship? How are you going to have a relationship if you're 80 hours of, and you got to remember, that's working hours. Then you got to add in the hours to get to work and come home from work. You got to add in that. And then you're supposed to have a relationship, and then you're supposed to fill in. Say like you have weekends off, right? Well, you working 80 hours a week. You ain't got weekends off. You're working 7 days a week. How you going to make it to your kid's game? You can't. Hey, honey, son, I'll make it up to. No, you can't. You got a time machine? That moment where your kid was playing a game, you can't make that up. That's gone forever. And you was at work. Exactly, LJ. That's why I don't date. I'm doing me. Once you do you, and I strongly suggest, especially the SMD members that just got out of debt, be by yourself for a while, man. Go to the movies by yourself. Go eat dinner by yourself. Make yourself accustomed to it. People think it's weird when you walk into a restaurant and say, just one. Go at prime dinner time where everybody's coming in as couples. You go by yourself so you can get used to it. So when you finally go out into the dating world, because you're gonna, when you find yourself, you be alone and you would really enjoy your time alone, you're not going to accept anybody else that's going to come disrupt that life. You're not going to allow them to disrupt your life with their chaos. You're like, no, no thanks. You'll know right away if they're in debt, they don't own themselves. So you're not even going to entertain that type of nothing. It don't even matter how good they look. Would the sex be great? You just won't even think about that at all. You'll be like, nah, no. You got too much drama. All right, I guess I'm going to wrap it up here, man. I'm glad I got a couple of questions. That was nice. That means it's increasing. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Most of you guys in the background, I get it. Totally get it. It's brand new, mind-blowing. I understand. LJ, this power turns you into the most intriguing people. You know what's so crazy? That is true. And I'm not even bragging. Okay? I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody. I'm saying I know for a 100% fact that I know something that millions of people don't. That's a fact. And you're probably thinking, well, LJ, how do you know that? Trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. That's millions of people that believe they're homeowners and they're not. Trillions of dollars in property renter mortgage debt. All of those people that have mortgages on their rental property, they don't own nothing. Brand new iPhones, finance, nothing. They don't own nothing, anything. Millions of people don't know that. I hear some people say, oh, you're the Black Dave Ramsey. Oh, no, Dave and I don't do the same things. We do not. I don't do what Dave does, and I couldn't do what Dave does. That's not my area. People are going to compare me to Einstein, all because I trust the calculator. That's just the amazing part about it. All because I trust it. So when you guys see them do, when the public starts to do that, I want you guys to remember here today, all of that is happening because I trust the calculator. You get it? It's gonna be bananas. You watch. You think those big financial people that you follow with all the computer screens in the background, thinking they know about investing, and then you find out they're debt slaves, personal debt. It's gonna blow your mind. You'd be like, what? Then what the hell is all that stuff he's been? Nothing. He's just showing you his perspective of the economy. You guys don't know that. Each person has a different perspective of the economy. My perspective of the economy is mathematical. It's the only one that's correct. The only right perspective. The only one. The majority of people you watch, some have millions of followers. Did you know that? Did you know debt slaves can have millions of subscribers? Millions. So you see the amount of subscribers, you think to yourself that he or she must know what they're talking. No, they don't. They're just giving you the negative perspective of the economy. Telling you that you can invest while having student loan debt. You can't do that. You guys pay for that information. Do you know that? You guys pay financial people to tell you that you can invest while having student loan debt. You can't do that. Go up to a financial person that you know that think they know everything. You say, hey, can I buy a house while having student loan debt? If they tell you yes, they just gave you the negative perspective of the economy because you can't. Should I open up more credit cards so I can build up my credit? Yes, it's wrong. That's the negative perspective. I saw this lady the other day talking about, hey, there's a Navy credit hack. You can get up to $50,000 credit card, but in order to be approved of it, you got to go get a credit card over here at the furniture store. And I'm thinking to myself, are you working for the companies? Is that why you're pointing to debt slaves to tell them to get into more debt? So as long as you build up all your credit at these places, then you come back to Navy Federal Credit Union and you can give $50,000. Do you think Navy Federal Credit Union is that stupid? Do you think they're that dumb? They're not that dumb. That's why they're the size they are. Because they're not dumb. Joe Gower says, I currently work at a bank, and it's amazing how many people are lost. I really feel bad for old people 50 and up. Yes. If you don't know capitalism is psychological, like 40 is like between 40 and 45, you're at the deadline right there. But you get into 50, you're at the extreme deadline. You got to wake the fuck up. You got a few good working years. You can change this around, but you got to be vigilant because time is against you. And I want the young people to be walking into these banks. I want them just to listen. How many of these people in this bank gonna tell me that I can invest with student loan debt, giving you the negative side of the economy? It's gonna blow your mind. Go up to a person that you think has money, just say, hey man, you got a mortgage? If they say yes, anything else that come out of their mouth is a negative perspective of the economy. You can't own a house with a mortgage. Mortgages by people, not houses. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys have a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank you guys for jumping on. Geek Surgeon, Arlene, thank you very much. Again, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday evening. Okay, until next time. What'd you say here? Let me read this last one here. This guy that I work with is a business banker, and he said he has 8 credit cards, but he has 800 credit score. Is that smart? No, he's in debt. If you ever hear a person, you got to remember the money on credit cards is the bank's money. Okay. If you hear a person bragging about the bank's money, they're debt slaves, because when you have your own money, why would you brag about the bank's money when you have your own money? Oh, I have a $50,000 limit. I got $50,000 cash in my bank account. Why are you happy about that? You got to pay interest on that. What are you talking about? That's not yours. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to look at those people. But they don't know that they're saying that. If a banker told me about the credit score and he has 8 credit cards, I'd be like, okay, you're not the banker for me. Because I'd be like, why are you bragging about the bank's money? I don't get it. You don't get it. That's why you're saying that. You're welcome, Geek Surgeon. Congratulations on almost being debt-free, $200 away. Congratulations. All right, till next time, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening.